Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for joining the webinar today. This is Siva Devaki from MassMailer. Today I'm going to talk about a feature that most of the current customers would know. And also this is more like an educational webinar for anyone who would like to understand how to validate emails in Salesforce. And first of all, why do you actually validate? The reason why you validate emails is to reduce the bounce rate. And why do you want to reduce the bounce rate? Because you want to make sure you secure your IP and the domain reputation so that your emails will get delivered properly and you will have a higher deliverability rate. So in a way, you want to validate your emails in your database every few months or so. Like we recommend every 3 months at least. That way you do not end up having any bounces at all. And also, even if we are collecting some data from some external parties and making sure that you don't have any spam traps, that is very important. Even if you have one single spam trap email in your database, that's actually gonna really have a very bad reputation on your domain and IP. So basically, ultimately, the reason why you want to validate is you do not want to hurt your IP and domain reputation, and you do not want to hurt your email deliverability, and you want to have a better campaign performance, meaning better open rate and better click rate. And that's a fundamental reason why you want to validate your emails. And MassMailer provides this feature, meaning it's a native feature what MassMailer has. And we have a little bit more advanced feature wherein which you can actually validate a single email or a multiple email on any standard or a custom object, right? And you can do like a single record, or you can also validate bulk, meaning multiple records. And there are multiple ways to validate emails. You can do it from a specific object, such as contact or lead, or any other custom object. Or you can do it from Salesforce list view, or MassMailer list view, which is a custom object MassMailer provides. Or you can also do it from a campaign object. So multiple ways to do it. You can also auto-verify an email using Process Builder or Flow. When I say auto-verify, like let's say you're capturing leads from your website and you want to make sure that you validate the email the moment the lead gets created in Salesforce. That's possible to do it. And that's the reason why we created that a simple Apex action class, which can be invoked whenever you're trying to, capture a lead. That is one use case scenario, but that can be done on any other object itself. It doesn't need to be lead, or it doesn't need to be just upon lead creation. It could be, whatever process that you think would make sense way in which you want to validate the email, auto validate, you can put that in your process or the flow. And also you can track the verification status at the object level itself, meaning whether the email has been validated or not, and what is the validation status or the verification status. You can actually look at the status value at the object level itself in a custom related list called MassMailer email verify status. Anything that is invalid, abuse, spam trap, or do not email status, we automatically suppress them. What it means, let's say you validated your database and some of them are invalid or some of them are maybe do not email list. And when you're sending a campaign again next time, we auto suppress those emails automatically for you. So you don't have to really filter them out. So we auto suppress them for you. Okay. And we got some reports, out of the box reports as well, if you want to customize those reports. And what kind of a verification information that we provide? So this is, again, the raw data. Whenever we validate any email address, we give you the piece of information such as email address and what is the status, such as valid, invalid, substatus. Again, if it is, say, invalid, what is the substatus, the relevant substatus we'll provide. Say, do not email is the status, and substatus, why you do not want to email. Maybe it's in the gray list, something on those lines. So the substatus. And of course, the email address is provided, the domain, and then the domain age days, and if it's a free email or not, did we find the MX record or not, who is the SMTP provider. We also may be able to provide the first name, last name, gender, city, region, zip code, country, and processed at what time. So basically, we will be able to provide you with this piece of information. So these are some, not some, rather all status and substatus values. Status, as you can see, valid, invalid, catch-all, unknown, spam, trap, abuse, do not email. And substatus, you can see there are many: anti-spam, gray listed, mail server, temporary, error, and many, as you can read through. Okay, there's something called disposable and a toxic email. Many people maybe just filling up the form with a disposable email, you'll be able to find out. And it's definitely not recommended to send an email to those disposable or even toxic emails. So those kind of things are captured. Catch-all, unknown meaning we do not know. So unfortunately, we are not able to validate whatever for whatever reason. So we'll provide you unknown, which is not billable. And then catch-all meaning sometimes users may create an alias like such as info@abc.com. That could be one. I mean, that's a valid email address, no doubt. Sometimes the email servers may have an email address, but the employee left. They still kept that as a catch-all email, meaning somebody responds or somebody sends an email to that particular employee, server will receive it, even though the recipient inbox is not active. But it basically goes to the server because they're actually trying to filter out any spammers, and they basically catch all. So catch all is okay to send, but you have to be very cautious when you're sending email to catch all, especially if it's a group email such as sales@abc or info@abc. Those tend to be catch all. And while it is okay to send email, you got to be a little cautious and send slow and in small batches. And what is that we suppress? We talked about it. Anything invalid, spam, trap, use, do not email, don't send. And the substatus for do not email, global suppression, disposable, and toxic. So these are the ones that you do not want to send emails to. Again, this is already taken care for you, so it is auto suppressed. And what objects we have there to capture this verification status information? So we got two objects. One is the email verification status, which is related to every object and holds the actual verification information, right? And the verification job object, so that is basically related to every object, again, that is enabled in MassMailer, and it holds a verification job statistic. So let's say you you want to validate emails in campaign, right? And then campaign has, say, 1,000 campaign members. So there would be only one verification job if you want to validate all those 1,000 campaign members. And that verification job is stored as a related object to the campaign. So that's how it is tracked. And these are the statistics that we captured. How many were submitted? How many are valid? Catch all, do not email, spam trap, total billable account, which is number of submitted minus unknown. So we do not bill for the unknown. Invalid, unknown, and abuse. So these are all the statistics information that we capture on the email job verification, email verification job object. Okay, and let's take a quick look at how this feature really works. Let's say you wanted to validate a list of emails that you have, right? So this has a list of emails, meaning we are trying to do a bulk verify, right? So it has got, it's a duplicate, but it's got few email addresses or email are the records in this particular view. So what we want to do is we just want to validate by going here and MassMailer verify. And then you're selecting what email field that you wanted to validate. You also have an option, do not include records verified on or after. So this would be very helpful. If you think you're trying to do this, let's say every month or every 3 months. So you can say, okay, last time I validated it 3 months ago, and I want to include the records that are not verified on or after, right? So that particular date will help you to reduce the overall emails that you validate, right? So let's just say you want to validate, you just click on submit, and then it creates a job behind the scenes, and it is actually validating everything, and it will give you the results as well. We already got the results. Therefore, all of them are valid, and it'll populate the information here as well. How many are valid and everything. Okay, so 4 submitted and 4 valid, right? And that's basically is what you would see. And if you actually want to take a look at the verification status, as you can see, it has populated the first name, last name, and this is related to the lead. And what is the email account, right? What time it processed, and the actual address, email address, and which domain it is, what is the age of the domain, what is the status, substatus, is it a free email or not, gender, what is the MX records found, MX found true, and who is the SMTP provider. So we capture most of the information that you really need. And sometimes this may be useful even if you wanted to like find out how many Gmail accounts I have and how many Outlook accounts that I have. It helps in segregating your data in such a way that maybe you want to use an IP address, or rather separate IP address for Google versus Outlook, meaning the IP address that you're going to deliver emails through, right? MassMailer provides one IP address by default, but if you are sensitive about the deliverability, and if you wanted to use separate IP address for Gmail accounts versus Outlook, that's possible to do it because you can create an IP pool and send using that particular IP at runtime. That's just a use case scenario. I'm just trying to throw as an example, but the reason why this additional piece of information would be useful, sometimes you may want to filter them by the domain age, right? Not just by the status and substatus. You may have more requirement in your organization where you have to segregate this data based on the validation information that you're getting. Okay, so that's the reason why we capture all of that. So that's how you validate from the list view. And let's go to that particular lead. And if you go to that lead, you can actually see the verification status right there. as one of the related objects, verify status. So you can actually check if it's valid or not. And if it's invalid, it is automatically suppressed, meaning we also create that in a suppression, you know, suppression list. So let us just see. I'll just go ahead and select this contact too. What I would do, I would actually go edit this particular email address instead of Siva. I would just say s.devaki and save it. And if you want to validate at a contact level, that's possible to do it again. You come here, click on this MassMailer verify. So you're doing it at an object level, single record. And we know that it's an invalid email address. So you would just go, click on this MassMailer verify and select what email field that you want to validate, and then you submit. That again creates a job behind the scenes, and it captures that information and stores that back, and one is invalid, as you can see. And here is the invalid verify status. So the status is invalid. Okay. And the reason is mailbox is not found. The mailbox not found. That's the reason. If you go to the contact, then you can see that here, verify status. Okay. And then you can see that this is also added into suppressions. So again, if you're familiar with MassMailer suppressions, it is basically an object that collects anything that is bounced or unsubscribed or invalid, spam trap, views, anything that's a bad data, right? Or manually you want to suppress some emails, you can also import them into suppressions. So that's the main reason why you have this MassMailer suppressions object that is related to this contact. Okay, so that's how you basically do it at the object level, right? And if you wanted to do it at a list view level in Salesforce, that's also possible. So let's say you have a list view. I mean, right now I have only an email address. Let's see if I can, all contacts, email contains. Let's see if I put this and save. So I got 2 email addresses, right? And if I want to filter, sorry, if I want to validate them, again, all I would do is click on this MassMailer verify. And again, it'll ask me for the email address, which I would populate and then hit submit. So select email, submit, and that basically would validate the emails in this particular list view, and it'll store again as a related list. Okay, one valid, other one is invalid, as you can see, and this also will get populated. The actual statistics information also will get populated. One valid and another one is invalid, right? So that's how you could validate from a list view level. Now campaign level, the same thing. So let's say you have a campaign. Let's see if I have. So there are 2 campaign members. Okay. And if I want to validate, I would just go here, select MassMailer verify. Now in the context of a campaign, okay, remember that. So there are no email fields on the campaign. So it's saying current object, no email fields to display. But we have a child object, as you know, the campaign member. So I would select the campaign member as a child object and then email field, right? That's what we're going to do. And then you submit. And that again will validate all the campaign members. And then it'll store the respective valid, invalid information. Again, it has done that valid, invalid thing, right? If you go to that campaign, it'll have a verification job that is related to that. Okay, and which in a way, if you go to that verification job, and go to the related. And this is one of the status value, right? And it is related to that particular contact. When they come from campaign, ultimately you're validating the contacts or leads that are part of this campaign. Okay. So that's how you basically validate from a campaign. So those are various ways that you can actually validate emails. And you will have to purchase the verify credits. So we have the tier pricing, whether it is 1K or 1 million, you can purchase the credits. And the pricing is available on our pricing page. If you go to massmailer.io, you'll find out the pricing by clicking on the pricing tab. Okay? So that's pretty much it. And any questions, feel free to let me know. All right, no questions. Thank you so much. Once again, this is Sivadevaki, and this is a weekly webinar that's scheduled every Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific. And it keeps changing based on the time. I mean, the daylight savings stuff every 6 months or so. And if you are interested in getting on a free trial, go to our website, click on the trial button, and then you can install MassMailer. And if you have any further questions, feel free to contact us. And here is my contact information. And you can also contact us on the company email, hello@massmailer.io. You can also call us. All these videos are posted to our YouTube channel. So go to YouTube and type in MassMailer, you will find our channel. And I request you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you get notified as and when we have a brand new YouTube video that is published. Okay. Once again, thank you so much for joining the webinar today. Have a great evening. Have a good day. Take care. Thank you.